Chris Carter of the Post-Gazette. He joins us right now on the Fan Hotline presented by Sullivan Super Service, Pittsburgh's trusted plumbing and HVAC provider for over 50 years. How about Y.A. Black? After a sack, he lifts his shirt up, his big belly sticking out. That belly is so big, my man's got an Audi that then became an innie again. Like when that dude was born, that thing was an Audi. And then the belly grew, and it became an innie because belly. All right, Carter. So obviously Derek Harmon getting hurt is the big story. Doesn't sound like it's season ending. Sounds like it's a sprain. But how are we feeling about the Steelers' defensive line depth?
I mean, I got to say, Y.A. Black continues to impress me. He now appears to be not just the first guy off the bench, but a guy that they're kind of excited to have first off the bench. I noted, when he had that first sack, I was like, okay, that's impressive. But when he had that second sack in a row, I was like, okay, yeah, they should probably take him out of the game now. Like, they don't need him to do anything else because if Derek Harmon's out for the season, they need this guy to be healthy because he's going to be a force. I think there's other guys that you could certainly question. I think Dan Aquali's been fine. I still think Isaiah Loudermilk hasn't matured into like the presence that they need in the interior. But if Harmon's only out a little bit of time, and he's in the fold, but at least by like week 2. I like this defensive line depth. I think between Cam, between Keanu, between Derek Harmon, between Y.A. Black and Aquali, I think there's 5 guys that could be good to great defensive line presences, especially against the run, and that's what this team needs. They need to rotate guys in the middle. Take on double teams, keep the linebackers clean, and that'll take them a long ways.
Chris, what do you think this Derek Harmon injury means for Cam Hayward's situation? Do you think Cam Hayward now is like, okay, like I'm going to play, you need me? Or do you think he uses this as leverage for getting some more money?
I don't think it really impacts. I think I've been on the opinion that the Steelers and Cam Hayward have been on the same page as far as what their plan is for a while now. I think this whole Holden thing is kind of just like a thing where the Steelers are like, Cam, go ahead, hold in, man. Like, we don't need you to practice right now. Just talk to Derek Harmon. And I guess the thing, during all those training camp practices where he was supposedly holding in, he was right next to Derek Harmon and Y.A. Like, he was talking to him the whole time, being like, hey, let's try this, let's try that. So, like, they didn't need to see him in training camp do too much, and I think there's been a tacit agreement or like an understanding that something's going to happen. He's not going to get like Chris Jones money, but I think he'll get enough money to like creep inside the top 20 of paid defensive tackles per year in the NFL. So I don't think that Derek Harmon's injury will have any impact on that.
Chris Carter of the Post-Gazette joining us here on the Fan Morning Show. This has become a hot-button topic today. We've taken scores of calls. People are arguing in the YouTube comments. Who should be the number 2 quarterback after the way this preseason has gone?
I still say Mason. I think that it's a lot to read into preseason play. And sure, Mason's had back-to-back games with interceptions and bad interceptions, and Skylar Thompson was good, but Mason's also been playing the better units when he's been out there. He's the guy that's fit into your team a bit better. Now, I will say this: I do think Skylar Thompson's kind of made it a point where it might be like maybe you put Will Howard on IR and just say like, hey, young guy, take the year off. We're gonna roll with the 3 vets this year, and then that way Will Howard could come into next year being refreshed, and you don't lose him to the practice squad and someone scoops him off of you. But I don't think you want to lose Skylar Thompson as another backup at this point because he looks pretty smooth. He looks like a solid veteran. Granted, if you're down to your 3rd string quarterback, like Devin Hodges all over again, like. What chances do you have this season anyways? But I kind of like the idea of keeping him around because let's say Mason Ruff's just having a bad day and you just like, hey, we just need you to get us to a quarter, man. Get out there, Skylar. Maybe he can give you that change of pace.
Chris, how are you feeling about the running back position for this team? Jalen Warren obviously fumbled last night. Caleb Johnson's a rookie, and Kenneth Gainwell is a 3rd down running back. How are you feeling about that unit as a whole?
I feel like they haven't had the opportunity to really build their chemistry just yet with this O-line, and I think that that's something that the Steelers seem to be okay with. They ran it a good bit last night, and I think that was good. Like I think that they took more steps with it. You saw Caleb Johnson run with the first-team offensive line and do some good things. But I also think that they are lacking the complete picture at the running back position right now. Jaylen Warren is as close to they got to that because he can catch the ball at the backfield. He can pass protect. He can hit the hole, but he does let go of the football when it's in his possession sometimes. And I think throughout his career, he has 7 fumbles in like 700 touches or so or something like that. And it's not an alarming rate, but that's still not the rate that you want when you had like Najee Harris, who had like 5 fumbles over like 1,200 to 1,300 touches. And so, there's a concern there. And I said that was the biggest thing that I thought was a concern for Jaylen Warren's status as RB1 was, could he protect the football? Because as I've told everybody, I asked Caleb Johnson what he was doing to practice, physicality and toughness during minicamp. And he was like, what I'm doing is I'm telling the defense to punch the ball out no matter where I'm at. If I'm on the sidelines, try to punch the ball out. If I'm running after a play, try to punch the ball out. And I've watched from rookie camp to OTAs to mini camp to training camp and now practices at the Steelers facility and to 3 preseason games with Caleb Johnson. I have not seen a time where the ball's been in his possession that he's let it leave his possession as a fumble. So that could be the thing that gets Caleb Johnson more time, is if Jaylen Warren becomes a fumbling problem for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin will say, Caleb, get in there. We can't afford to let this ball get loose.
How about that? Who are you smiling at back
PJ.
there? Oh, PJ's here.
He was holding his nose.
Because of your fart from earlier.
What up, PJ?
Do you think Trey Sermon or Lou Nichols makes this team?
I think Trey Sermon. Lou Nichols has had some good moments, but you look at Trey Sermon's ability to make guys miss in space, and I think that he's a practice squatter. I don't think any of these guys make the final roster, but I think that they're looking for their practice squad guy that they'll bring in who will just run with the practice squad throughout the year. And then, if there's an injury to the running back position and they got to sit somebody down for a while, that they can call someone up. And I think Trey Sermon has been in that role. Lou Nichols was pushing for it, but I think last night kind of confirmed Trey Sermon is that guy.
Chris, I had a hot take a couple days ago. I said Troy Fautanu is going to be an all-pro at the end of the season. You agree or disagree?
All-pro's tough. There's a lot of really good tackles in the NFL. I think he can be really good. I think he can be a Pro Bowl player, a most improved player. All-pro's just a lot. There's a lot of really good offensive tackles in the NFL. I mean, one of 2 would be if he is, man, the Steelers are in a really good place. So I won't say all-pro, but I'll say Pro Bowl's possible. I'll say I do like what I see out of him. His fundamentals are really good. He's really strong when he has those fundamentals down, and I like his consistency. I like most of this offensive line. Him and Broderick Jones have been assets in these preseason games. They've been getting off the ball. They've been blocking well. And, outside of the holding call from Zach Frazier and Pat Freiermuth, I thought the first team's rushing offense looked pretty good. They were getting off the ball. They were moving guys. Granted, that was the second team defense for the Panthers. It should look good, but you're seeing coordination. You're seeing chips from the first level to the second level and well-timed chips. Those are the things I personally wanted to see as a journalist of the Steelers rushing game before I say, okay, that's a feature of their game that could be a problem for opponents. And they still got to prove it in a real game, but I think they took steps in that direction, and Troy Fautanu, a big part of that.
And Broderick Jones, who stunk in the preseason last year and had a bad start to camp, he was great in pass protection in these preseason games. And you do great on a curve, but I also remember what happened last year, and I feel way better about him today than I did at the start of camp. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. And I was a person who was on the side of like, hey, let's be patient with Broderick Jones. He's got to adjust. He's one of the youngest guys on the offensive line, even though he's the guy that was drafted first. But when I saw him, once he started putting the pads on after he came back from his injury in the middle of the camp, he looked really solid. He looked like he was getting his fundamentals down. I wrote about it for the Post-Gazette after the Jaguars preseason game. The fundamentals were there, and that's what Broderick Jones – that's all he needs right now is, hey, get into your drop sets, have good footwork, make sure your hands are hitting the guy in the right spot, using your leverage. His 6'5", 311 frame with long arms – he is perfectly built to play left tackle in the NFL. If he uses his fundamentals, he is a very good tackle. But once he starts to apply those fundamentals with aggression, then he's going to be a very good to great tackle. And I think that both him and Troy Fautano have great potential. As of right now, I haven't seen the official PFF numbers for last night, but the first 2 games, 18 pass plays, no pressures, good sign there. We'll see if that holds up with this last game as well.
Chris, can the Steelers get something for Ben Sauls?
I doubt it. I feel like there's I think he deserves a lot of credit for hitting those field goals. It would depend on, if a team that feels like they are a decent team and they're going to win some games this year loses a kicker, or if their kicker stinks over the next few days because Tuesday is the cut down day and looks like there's games all through Sunday night. If that happens, someone may call and say, "Hey, can we swap sevenths and just take your kicker?" I think that could happen there. But who knows? Maybe the Steelers say, "Hey, you know what? You want the kicker? We want something else really, really small in exchange." But Ben Sauls, I thought, made himself some money in the NFL. Maybe not right now. Maybe not tomorrow. But I think when you make 4 field goals in a row and 2 of them are longer, the way he did, someone's going to see that and say, "Hey, let's bring this guy in an emergency."
Finally, Chris. Preseason wrapped up. Who's punter number 1?
I'm going chalk and saying Cam Johnston, but I will say Corliss Waitman made this hard. I thought this was going to be easy in a way, Cam Johnston's job. I thought there was going to be no questions asked. But, man, Corliss Waitman, there were some of the preseason games, some of the practices where I was just like, he's putting more boom into his punts. But I think Corliss Waitman's still the more polished punter. I think that when he can use the sideline better. I think he can probably coffin corner a little bit better, and that might be what they want. They're also paying him a little bit more, so I think that plays a factor. But I will say Corliss Waitman, like Ben Sauls, has earned a spot where if someone needs a punter, they can call him, and he would be a really good addition to their team. I don't think he should put his head down about anything here. I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers picked Corliss Waitman. I feel like Cam Johnston's going to be the guy. Chris,
this was wonderful. We got a coffin corner reference in there. Just an outstanding breakdown, and we appreciate your time, pal.
I felt underdressed being on this segment looking at you guys.
Kickoff luncheon today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my first one I won't be at in like 6 years.
I feel like he could have got a courtesy invite. I mean,
he probably got invited. He probably just can't make it.
Oh.
Or not.
Oh, he didn't get invited. I could tell by the head nod that he did not get invited. All right, Carter. Well, if we were throwing the luncheon, you'd be there. All right, pal?
I appreciate it. I'm calling EJ. I'm mad.
There you go. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, fellas.